materials, right, which India does not have expertise on. What is your guesstimate that how long it will take us to be a country where we can say we have a very thriving ecosystem? Your guess, 5 years, 10 years?
Okay, that's also a very difficult question, but I think the answer is depends on the customer. I think customer needs the chemicals and materials, right? So in the market, it's been always like this way. It's not about how much we can spend. It's a question of how much customer can wait. So if customer needs to produce the wafer for certain applications, and it's always 24/7, and it's really fast speed, which the challenge is, and the people who can make that happen is always remain in the market. So it is really hard to say how many years, but I think it depends on the fab that will be initiated in India, and I think they will have a certain milestone, and I think we will need to be able to meet their expectations. That I hope that could be your answer.
Great. I know it's a difficult question, and we are looking into the crystal ball, but generally Indians, surprise pleasantly by making things happen, and I'm sure with a collaboration like yours, it will be very much possible. That leads me to Samvit, right? So again, a difficult question for you. I don't want to give an easy question. When do you think your first chip is going to come, which will give run for money to global chip makers, which you are competing with?
Well, there are lots of companies who are trying the chips, and you have to understand that building chips is a long-term journey. It takes years because you have to do the design, then manufacture, and test, and it's getting more and more complex. So it's good that we are starting now, and I think next few years, I would say lots of chips will come out of Indian companies. There are already chips coming out of the Indian engineers as part of multinational companies, but in the next, I would say 5 years, I expect many chips to come out of the Indian companies. But what you have to be careful is, one is quality. You really have to get everything first time right. And second is, while we'll be courageous, but don't be overconfident or arrogant not to have or build these strategic partnerships with the world. So if you pay attention to quality, if you pay attention to the strategic partnerships, and you assume, or the reality is that the chip design is a long-term journey, I think we'll see a lot of chips coming out.
Great. So I think the clear message that we see with so much of action happening in India, it reminds me of a quote that there are decades where nothing happened, and there are weeks where decades happen. And it seems like we are at a perfect point where all stars are aligning and all global collaboration is happening with every single country, so that we can achieve what.
I'll add one thing. What you said is basically when ISA started, all the members are Indian members. I think Ved is here. We all Indian members only. We started. The last 1 year, we are getting requests from all the companies out of India to become member of ISA. All these companies who have come back and said, why don't we should become a member of ISA? That itself is a big change, which was not even thought by us 15 years before when we formed ISA. Now we have said, okay, right, we have international members coming into ISA. I think that itself tells very clearly that the regional thing is going well.
Absolutely. So I want to conclude this session with one rapid fire, one desire that each one of you have from either the government or from the industry partners or industry association to realize the dream that you all have, for the theme that make in India for the world, and with a global collaboration. So starting with you, Naveen, one wish list from anyone to make the dream happen.
From dream happen to move
and
from.
And next year or year after, we will go through that list.
Yeah, to move from the execution into the innovation, that's making the future what we are dreaming.
Okay.
My thing is now we are doing 300 tape outs out of the India for outside. At least we should start doing every year 50 chips out of India. India chips. L&T will do 15. So like that, our dream is 50 chip has to be out of India. This is a dream.
Okay, let's see. Your dream, in the sense, to make this theme being successful.
Start doing it, but do the right things first.
Right things first. Great. Right prioritization. Okay. Shoji-san?
Okay, so I think we are very interested in to support the Indian semiconductor supply chain and ecosystem, and I think one of the things that we hope to see from India is to have more opportunity for us to know who are the players and who are very highly interested in to support the Indian semiconductor with us, so that we can start the discussion and collaboration. So environment for discussion and collaboration is what we are looking for. Thank you.
Great. Samvit?
Yes, so India right now, we are just building up or growing in designing advanced chips. So my request to the global players as well as the India leaders of those global players, please do support, get off the ramp.
Okay, great. So here's the desire list, and I'm sure we'll revisit that. Yeah, so I'm coming to that. So we have opportunity for audience Q&A, and we have a star cast of panelists. So this is a great opportunity you all can leverage. So the floor is open for questions from the audience. Yes. Maybe starting with, yeah, Sudhir bhai.
Yes.
Yeah, here's the mic in the back. At the back.
Kartavya, do you have any plan? You had desire to do something, but my wish list is, do you have any plan for autonomous two-wheeler? If not autonomous two-wheeler, do you have ADAS for two-wheeler?
Yes, so today we already have some versions of what I call is ADAS or ADAS, largely controlled in the software, largely driven by the software. We have plans to build chips that will have some of these functional safety and other ADAS features in the hardware itself. As we start building our chips, we'll start introducing them. So today, fully autonomous two-wheelers, again, autonomous driving has multiple levels, as you know, level 1 through level 7. I think we will be embarking on that level, so maybe start with level 2 plus, then go to level 3, so it will be a journey. Level 7, which is the highest level, I think that's, in a two-wheelers probably, I won't say it is impossible, but it will take a lot of research. But level 2 plus level 3 should be okay.
Yes.
So first of all, thank you for the very interesting insights that you have given for the local execution global market. My question is, one of the things which enables this is the policy. So my question is, how do you see from an Indian industry standpoint, our Indian policy, semiconductor policy, where does it stand as compared to US CHIPS Act or equivalent European Act? Is it far better than what they are offering, or is it just at par of what they are offering?
I will request Veerappan to answer that. He's leading that consortium right now.
No, absolutely. I tell you, no country, I can divide it into two. One is on the manufacturing side, one is on the design side, right? See, there is no country, leave China. Okay, they're in a different ballgame, so let me not compare China. The other part of the world, if you compare, I think on manufacturing, no country is giving this benefit at all. We are getting 50% capital cash subsidy. Cash. It's not that it is reimbursable. It's not that you have to pay back nothing. It's a free cash, 50% given by the central government. State governments are topping up by 20%. So 70% of the capital subsidy is unheard of in the world. That's why leaving China, I said. But 70%. So we have the best of the policy for manufacturing thing. That's clear, right? No doubt about. There's no country in the world which can give that 70% capital subsidy. That is one on the manufacturing. On the design side, definitely that we have a lot of program for the startup. I think Naveen is part of it, right? We have an institution called Shuffle. If you come and see, you have a startup, you want to do a chip, you can do the chip almost at no cost. They give incubation space. They give all the tools are costly. They give you tools. So it is one setup in Bangalore like that. 3 are getting set up. And we also have a EP. Entrepreneurial Park in EPD in Delhi, We have an entrepreneurial park where you can go and use. I think these type of facilities are there, but not much in any other part of the world to our head. So the system, no, the policies are very encouraging. DLI, the Design Linked Incentive Scheme, is very much there, but the numbers have to go up. Currently, they're giving only maximum 15 crores. It has to go up. ISA has recommended to the government, even if you see ISM 2.0, we want to push them. But to answer your question, I think we are the right and the policies are absolutely fine. The governments are, see, you can see, last 3-4 years, everywhere semiconductor, chip design, VLSI is coming here, and government is having all the priority towards this sector. So undoubtedly, India is currently at the best of the policies in both manufacturing and design side, there's no doubt.
So, I mean, the policy can have multiple sections to it, and I think Veerappan has talked about it, but if you want to see the difference that India ecosystem is doing, is just walk down to the hall 8, and then you can, you come in front of the Marvel booth. There is a Karnataka state booth, there's a Odisha state booth, there's a Tamil Nadu state booth. So, and then the session is going to follow. There is a very healthy, I would say, call it competition or call a method to say is that I will provide a better policy, incentive, support, and ecosystem so that this can flourish and not die down like it has happened previous times, right? So that's in addition to all the policies and everything that we're talking about, is a very healthy state support and competition there.
So having said that, I will still mention as a neutral party to answer your question that where manufacturing policies have reached, design policies are in the right direction. They will reach there, and as Veerappan said, there's a new version 2.0 of DLI coming, and we will bridge that gap with the collaborative efforts from the industry. But we are getting there, and the healthy competition from all states, I think that is really one of the unique things in India where every state is competing for doing the right things. Yes, and next panel, that gives you a segue to the next panel where you will hear. Yes. Any last question?
So the semiconductor mission has kicked off very well, and you just spoke about the chemical and gases supply chain also coming into this place. Is the government now setting up joint ventures or partnerships between companies that are actually doing these chemicals and a local supply chain here in India? And how are the companies there in abroad trying to set up this supply chain gap and knowledge gap here in India?
Basically, I think Anurag is here. We have signed up with the ICC, the Chemical Council of International Chemical Council. So we are working also, we are connected with the government. So like Dolera is the place, right? So basically we are suggesting them to have a common set of a storage. This chemical storage is very important, importing is very important. We know we are giving a lot of inputs to have a common storage, not that each company, so common storages. There are 3-4 recommendations has gone, Anurag, on the chemical side.
I was asking from the point of view of manufacturing those chemicals in India, because without that, without cutting down the cost of import, especially when it comes to chemicals like photoresists and so on, one of them. Yes, yes.
It'll take some time. It's not going to be done now because it has got its own challenges. There are a lot of environmental norm. I think the government is working.
Shogi-san will probably
Okay.
answer that. He's from the same area.
So as a chemical material supplier, it's a global player, right? So when we look at the incentive and come into joint venture in the India market, a lot of times people are talking about what are the incentive and what is the capex happens for different regional countries and political strategies. Of course, everybody wants to get the free, right? But the most important is actually it's a market driven. So I think some bits are mentioned about the open AI. When you look at that, the market of India at this point, we see that the design chips and the software is really strong. And in the future, open AI need to lower power consumptions for different applications. So there are a lot of opportunity to grow the technologies in India, and that is called market driven. So we also look at the political driven, but also we have to make sure that the market is really driven. So that's what we are really looking at. question to us, let's say, we're not going to come into India to invest because we don't have money, answer is not, right? So I think the market-driven has to happen, as well as these great support from the government. So that's the both things happening in India. So that's my comment.
Great. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was this panel all about showcasing that strength that India is all set with the global collaboration for the global markets, and India needs the world as much as world needs India. On that positive note, thank you very much.
Uday? Uday, can I have a caller mic, please? What their policies are, how are they at an inflection point, and what is the future that the states have insofar as the semiconductor and electronics ecosystem is concerned. To bring to a point, we all must understand, since morning you've had enough industry presentations in which we are all aware that the enabling policies are the most important cornerstone for any endeavor. You know, as I mentioned early in the morning today in one of the keynotes, that you may have a sum of $10 billion to build a state-of-the-art fab, but if you don't have the requisite policy to use those $10 billion, you will make sure that you will make a paperweight out of it. So let's not make a mistake that policies are the major harbingers of any known endeavor to man, and that also such a complex endeavor like the semiconductors. That's one. The second thing is, if you look back and go back into history, around 15 years ago, around 20 elements of 118 elements of the periodic table were used in this process. Today there are 80. So make no mistake, nearly 75% of the periodic table is attuned to making this complex technology, and that's the way it is. And that is what we have to understand, that the more complex the technology gets, the more complex policies also become. But then we have the first movers, we have the first 7 states, which are represented by very senior government officials, in which we will see each state as to what they are and what they intend doing in the times to come. I will also be looking at a couple of issues which are related to workforce development, issues related to supply chains, the era of collaborations, navigating this maze by era of collaborations, whether it is inter or intra, whichever may it is, and thereby the senior officials from these 7 states will expose to you as to what these first mover states in India are up to and how they are going to be the major powerhouses to drive this country's 1 trillion digital economy. I now call upon Mr. Akash Tripathi, CEO of India Semiconductor Mission, to say a few words, welcome the dignitaries, and then we get on with business. Mr. Tripathi.
Senior officials from the states, distinguished guests, industry leaders, ladies and gentlemen. This session is really very crucial for the SEMICON India event. Last 2 days, we have been hosting, we have been hearing global leaders from the semiconductor industry. And after that, I can say with confidence that we really are at an inflection point in the semiconductor manufacturing. The SEMICON India program which came into being in 2022, offers a 10 billion outlay for promoting semiconductor manufacturing. Government of India, through India Semiconductor Mission, provides 50% fiscal support for any project which is for the starting of semiconductor fab or display fab or ATMPO sets, sensor or MEMS and discrete devices. We support all kind of ecosystem players as well through different schemes. Currently, we are discussing bringing all the semiconductor ecosystem components into one scheme in 2.0. But as Colonel Awasthi rightly mentioned, only having policy is not enough. We need to really bring those projects on ground. We have to make those projects successful. We are putting in so much money into these projects and having no returns. We are not taking any equity stakes in these projects. So we just want these projects to be successful. That is the only return we are going to have, which we are expecting from these projects. The state's partnership is very crucial if we want these projects to succeed. They have partnered in the fiscal support as well. I'm really happy that almost 8 states have now come up with their semiconductor policies, and they are providing fiscal support to the range of 20 to 25%. Some of the states have come up with pari passu support, and others have come up with a reimbursement kind of a model. There are some states which, when the probable investors approach them, they kind of suggest that they can have the curated kind of support. So just wanted to request states that having a clear-cut policy is a better option, so that we also have clarity when we are appraising those projects, that what kind of support they are really going to have in the state where they are going to invest. Also, we have so far directly interacted and worked with 2 states that in the projects which we have approved. So far we have approved 5 projects. 4 of them are OSATs and ATMP, and 1 is a semiconductor fab. So we have already closely worked with Gujarat, and we have also closely worked with Assam. And our experience has been really, really good. In terms of providing land, electricity, water, and other infrastructure support, they have been really forthcoming. And also providing fiscal support, it's a tripartite kind of a thing, in which the model which we have developed, that first the company puts in their money, and then the state government, and then finally the 50% part of the GOI side. So that model which we have evolved with Gujarat, because the first project came there, the Micron project. So I think that model really works well, very smoothly, and that can be adopted by other states as well. There are some good examples like SEMICON city in Dholera, in which they have created dedicated infrastructure for semiconductor manufacturing. Almost 10,000 acres of developed land is available there. I think 300 megawatt of green power they're already setting up, and there's no dearth of water and other facilities. Similarly, in Uttar Pradesh, they have earmarked, I think, 1,000 acres for their semiconductor park near the upcoming Jewar airport, very close to this place. And I'm sure other states like Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, they are also having plans, and they have, I think, already started working on this side to develop a dedicated infrastructure for this semiconductor manufacturing. So from today's session, we all will know that what states are thinking and how they are aspiring to become the semiconductor hubs for this country. We are a large country, so we need not have only one Hsinchu like Taiwan. We can have many Hsinchus in our country, and we have many potential Hsinchus in our country. And I hope that after this session, they will also learn, and we will also learn that how we can collaborate in a collaboration put together this industry in this country and really make the semiconductor manufacturing successful in this country. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. That was Mr. Akash Tripathi, CEO of the India Semiconductor Mission. I will now call upon on stage Mr. Jayesh Ranjan. Mr. Jayesh Ranjan is the Indian Administrative Services Officer and is the Special Chief Secretary for Industries and Commerce and Information Technology, Electronics and Communication Departments, Government of Telangana. His experience is spread across diverse departments, including industrial development, urban development, tribal development, natural resources development, poverty alleviation, and other related social development sectors. He's a very well-known man in the IT industry all over, and he's a very, very important facet of Telangana as to what Telangana has shaped up into the technological hub as we speak today. He is also part of the National Pool of Trainers in Leadership constituted by the Government of India and is involved in training and mentoring newly recruited civil servants. Amongst his other distinctions, he has already also been awarded the Royal Order of the Polar Star by His Majesty the King of Sweden in 2019. Please welcome Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, IAS. Next in line, may I kindly request Shri Vishal Dev, IAS, Principal Secretary, Electronics and Information Technology Department, Government of Odisha. Shri Vishal Dev is an officer of 1996 batch. He presently serves as the Principal Secretary, Electronics and Information Technology Department, Government of Odisha. Prior to his present role, he was the Principal Secretary of the Finance Department, so he knows how the money is to be put where the mouth is. Over a long and distinguished career with the Government of Odisha, he has moved in domains such as urban development, industrial development, IT, tourism, amongst the important ones. He is credited with contributing to the transformation of Odisha's industrial and IT landscape. He has also led the team tasked with Odisha's preparations for the hosting of the Men's Hockey World Cup 2018. Please give him a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. Next in line, please put your hands together for Mr. Anil Kumar Sagar, Principal Secretary, IT and Electronics and Infrastructure and Industrial Development Department, Government of Uttar Pradesh. You're sitting, by the way, Gautam Budh Nagar. So a little larger applause. Mr. Sagar, a 1998 IS officer of Uttar Pradesh cadre, brings in 26 years of extensive experience to Indian Administrative Service. He has served as a district magistrate in 10 districts across the state. Currently holds the position of Principal Secretary of the IT and Electronics Infrastructure and Industrial Development Departments in the government. He hails from Kannauj and he's BTech in Electrical Engineering from IIT Kanpur and an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad. So he knows what is to be done. Next in line is my good friend Sanjeev Gupta, the CEO of Karnataka Digital Economy Mission. He is the man who's credited with the entire slogan of Beyond Bengaluru. I will ask him as to what Beyond Bengaluru means, and you people must understand that there is more in Karnataka beyond Bengaluru. He's been in the service as an administrator, business leader, and entrepreneur, mentor, and Indian IT growth facilitator for 27 years, and is a very well-known face in the government of Karnataka and drives the entire initiatives in the digital mission. Next on line, I would call Shri Manvendra Pratap Singh IAS. He's of 2012 batch of the Indian Administrative Service, and he has served the government of Assam in various capacities. Presently, he is the Managing Director, Assam Industrial Development Corporation Limited, AIDC, Assam Industrial Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited, Assam Small Industries Development Corporation Limited, and Secretary to the Government of Assam in Act East Policy Departments. Assam, ladies and gentlemen, is the gateway to the ASEAN. It stands on the very cusp of ASEAN countries. So he's very important. Please give him a big hand. Next in line, I must call my good friend, Mr. Manish Gurwani, Indian Administrative Service, Mission Director, Gujarat State Electronics Mission. He's 2017 batch Indian Administrative Service Officer, currently heads the Gujarat State Electronics Mission as Mission Director, GSEM Gujarat. He coordinates and oversees single points of contact entries into Gujarat, which facilitates the development of the semiconductor and the electronics industry. We all know where Gujarat is taking strides at and how the infrastructure is being developed there. He has been a subdivisional magistrate in Bhuj and a district development officer at Valsad. He's from BITS Pilani, where he earned a dual degree in MSc Mathematics and BE Honors in Electrical and Electronics in 2013. So he's the right man for the right job and not a square peg in a round hole. Ladies and gentlemen, please give him a big hand. Last on the block, Dr. P. Alarmel Mangai, IAS. Ma'am, I hope I pronounced it correctly. She's an IAS of 2019 batch with a prominent career serving key roles in the government of Tamil Nadu. She currently serves as the Executive Director of Guidance. Guidance is the main agency of Tamil Nadu, which has taken the path-breaking Tamil Nadu semiconductor policy in February this year. February, ma'am? February this year. Prior to this role in Guidance, she served as the Additional Collector Coimbatore and Salem districts, Tamil Nadu. In her earlier days, she held the chair of the Sub-Collector of Padmanapuram, Kanyakumari district, Tamil Nadu. She's an alumnus of Tanjavur Medical College Hospital, Tanjavur district. So we have a sterling cast. And if you may please see, all of these ladies and gentlemen on the stage are represented by the names of their states because they are the state. I am the only one who's by name. So there you go. May I now call upon Mr. Jayesh Ranjan to kindly give a small expose on Telangana for 5 to 6 minutes, and then thereafter we follow the same order. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Colonel Avasti. Greetings to fellow panelists. Greetings to all the members of the audience. See, frankly, I don't want to show any slides. Can you just put the last slide, which has my name on it? I have shown these slides enough number of times, and I know that it doesn't move the needle. So I'll just speak extempore. So basically the point which I want to present is that, see, many of you would be aware that when India became an independent country, our Prime Minister at that time, Prime Minister Nehru, he was very enamored with the Soviet model of development, which was that the government itself will run large industries. Can you just move to the last slide and where my contact details? Yeah, that's all. So, or leave the first slide on, whichever. So, he decided that the government itself will set up large industries. And one wise decision which he took was that all these industries, he chose to decentralize. I mean, instead of concentrating all of them in and around Delhi, he decided to spread them in different parts of the country. And the electronics factory was set up in Hyderabad. It is called the Electronics Corporation of India Limited. The current claim to fame of this factory is that, as you know, in India, we do the voting through electronic voting machines, EVMs. So the EVMs are designed there, the EVMs are manufactured there. So that is how it is. But over a period of time, because ECIL was present, in those days it was manufactured, it was set up in early 60s, late 50s actually. It was manufacturing all kinds of other products. And at one point in time, they would have realized that instead of making everything, it is better to start sourcing components which are not very important from other manufacturers. So people in that region, as you know, many of you would know, people in Hyderabad, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, they are called the Telugu people. So Telugu people are very entrepreneurial. So within no time, hundreds of MSMEs came up, which started manufacturing these kind of electronic components. Simultaneously, while ECIL was developing and getting established, the national government also set up lots of defense manufacturing in Hyderabad. Some of the most critical defense components, including missiles, are made in Hyderabad today. And many of those components are electronic components, avionics as they are called. So these MSMEs, they also started supplying to the defense PSUs. And within a matter of maybe a decade or so, there are close to 1,000 plus MSMEs, many of whom have modernized their technologies, they have invested in good skilled resources, many of them have become part of global supply chain, etc. So that is one part. So all this happened in 60s, 70s, etc. Now fast forward to 20 years ago, that is 1998 to be precise. So in those days, in 1998, obviously we did not have the India Semiconductor Mission. There was no such $10 billion scheme, etc. At that time, Telangana was a part of a larger state called Andhra Pradesh. There was one state. And in those days, when no one even knew what semiconductor is, our government in Andhra Pradesh decided to set up a fab completely by itself. In fact, there is an industrial park just next to Hyderabad airport, which is still called Fab City. And we were able to get an anchor investor also, a company called SEMCorp. But due to some management challenges and some kind of a financial stress, that project did not take off. But 20 years ago, in 1998, when as I said, there was not even 1 rupee of Government of India support, the state had decided to set up a full-fledged fab completely by itself. And obviously, everything which is required to set up that fab was made available. Land was there, high-quality power, water, a pipeline of skilled workforce, all that was organized. Of course, as I said, the fab did not take off, but all those factors, water, power, infrastructure, skills, we decided to focus on the electronics industry. And I'm very happy to share with you that we have a very, very thriving electronics industry, largely catering to the defense industry, but also to consumer electronics, medical electronics, and automotive electronics, and so on and so forth. One other thing also happened in the last 10, 15 years. Many of you would know that Hyderabad is very important for the software industry. After Bangalore, Hyderabad is the second largest software hub in the country, and close to 1 million people work in the software industry. Close to 1,400 companies are there. So many of these semiconductor companies, American companies, companies from other countries, they realized that all their R&D can be done very profitably in India, and many of them chose to come to Hyderabad. So just now, Mr. Tripathi mentioned about Micron. So of course, the visibility in SEMICON is about the manufacturing which Micron is doing in Gujarat. But not many people will know this, that there are 4,000 R&D engineers of Micron who work out of Hyderabad. In fact, it's a nice coincidence, while we are having this session here in Hyderabad, exactly today, it would have happened in the morning, Micron is inaugurating a new office where it will add 2,000 more people. So the entire R&D backbone of Micron anywhere in the world is happening from Hyderabad. Likewise, Qualcomm, you will not believe it when I say so, there are 11,000 R&D engineers of Qualcomm who work in Hyderabad. After San Diego, the second largest R&D footprint of Qualcomm anywhere in the world is in Hyderabad. And there are many others. I mean, you name them, AMD, Moschip, Cadence, Xilinx, NXP. I mean, you name the semiconductor company, their R&D, their development, product development, etc., is happening in Hyderabad. So, as I said, and there is one more thing, one additional thing. As all of us know, every sector today in the world is getting disrupted by innovation. And most of this innovation is coming through young entrepreneurs. I see lots of young people, possibly you are all students. These are the people who are bringing the new wave of innovation, the new wave of entrepreneurship, but it requires support. You require incubators, you require labs, you require some seed funding, you require corporate connect, etc. So in Hyderabad, we have also stolen a march to support that kind of incubation. In fact, MeitY itself has sanctioned the very first fabless design incubator anywhere in the country to IIT in Hyderabad. As all of you would know, the best tech schools in our country are the IITs. So IIT Hyderabad has the distinction to host the first fabless incubator in the country. So everything that one would require to set up a very thriving semiconductor or OSATs or ATMP manufacturing units exist in Hyderabad. We have a legacy, we have a very strong supply chain, we have infrastructure, we have talent. I would like to mention one other thing about talent. See, today every engineering college in the country teaches electrical and electronics engineering. In fact, many of the fellow panel colleagues have electronic and electrical engineering degrees. In Telangana, this course is taught. I'm not talking about the IITs and BITS and IIIT, of course. They are at one level. I'm talking about the state-run university-affiliated colleges. There are about 150 of them. I don't have precise numbers, but my guess is that at least 100 plus of them would be teaching electrical and electronics engineering. The USP about our state is that that every 6 months we revise their curriculum. In fact, this is a complaint which we hear quite a lot about India, that the education system is not very agile. Even in the best engineering schools, you are still teaching some 19th century kind of syllabus. But we have changed all that. Every 6 months, we revise the curriculum of electrical and electronics engineering to ensure that whatever is the latest technologies that the industry really looks for, they are taught. The same is true of ITIs. So engineers are at one level, but the real shop floor work is done typically by people who have ITI, polytechnic kind of background. If you visit typically ITIs anywhere, you will really get a sense that you are in the 19th century. But what we have done in our state, there are 65 ITIs. We have decided to modernize all of them in one stroke. Tata Technologies is our partner. They have given us the template, and they have also co-invested along with the government to modernize every ITI. Now in every ITI, we teach the latest CAD/CAM, robotic-assisted manufacturing, 3D printing, additive manufacturing. Some of the latest high-tech ways of running an industrial manufacturing line is actually demonstrated in labs in all of these ITIs. So, as I was mentioning, everything that you really require to set up a thriving manufacturing ecosystem is there. Of course, like every other state, our state also provides incentives. And I have mentioned this on many other occasions also. The incentive package that we offer is very, very competitive. And many companies who are already present in Hyderabad appreciate the fact that the state government gives them the best possible support, the best possible red carpet treatment. So while the ISM has not kind of allotted any specific projects to us, but we do hope that when SEMICON 2.0 is announced, as Mr. Tripathi mentioned, in a matter of few months from now, some of the important projects, and I know that many private sector companies have actually expressed their commitment to us, that they will be very keen to set that up in Telangana, and if we get support from ISM, I'm very sure that we will be an equally compelling ecosystem, because all the seeds, the foundation that you require really are in existence for decades altogether, as I mentioned. So these are some of the things which I wanted to mention in brief, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, sir. May I now request Government of Odisha to please kindly give a little exposure on Odisha.
A very good afternoon, everyone. My fellow panelists on the dais, officers from various states, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasure to be here today to talk about a state which has been very different. Jayesh sir started with some history of India and of how Telangana developed. So Odisha as a state, before I start a presentation, I have 3 brief slides, but from a state which was nowhere on the industrial map or industrial firmament of the country to a position where we are among the top 3 investment destinations in the country as far as manufacturing is concerned. It's been a long and a very enriching journey. We are the new kid on the block, Odisha, and we believe in doing things very differently. So we work more like a corporate, and that is a testimonial which we've received from many industries. We work in a very informal manner. We take risks also. Today, if I talk about the overall industrial scenario, we are a metal and a mineral powerhouse. We account for more than 50% of India's steel and more than 60% of India's aluminium. So the who's who of the world in these two sectors are already present. What we want to do moving forward is, to leverage on this metal and mineral production that we have, to get into value-added industries, value-added products, and also look at new age sectors, defense, aerospace, semiconductors, etc. About 2 years back, we had come out with an electronics policy, the Odisha electronics policy, and subsequently we realized that semiconductor, it was a part of the electronics policy, we thought semiconductors is important enough to have a separate policy, and therefore we came out with a revised policy focusing only on semiconductors and semiconductors fabless industry. As far as IT and ITES is concerned, Odisha figures among the top 10 software exporting states in the country. And we have the presence of all the major players, but it is electronics, manufacturing, and semiconductors which we are now wanting to promote in a big way. As far as the ecosystem is concerned, we already have the presence of some of the leading semiconductor and silicon chip design companies. We've got Synopsys, Scale Edge, Neurasemi, Marquee. On the semiconductor silicon carbide front, we've just got RIR, the groundbreaking of RIR Power Semiconductors happened a few days back on the 6th. And we have about 4 more proposals with us, which have already been approved by the state government. Some of them are before the India Semiconductor Mission for consideration. We are hoping that they come through quickly and they can start work. We also have some of the countries and world's leading players in solar cell module manufacturing like Ampen Solar, Vari Energy, Jupiter Energy, etc. If we talk about policy, and we've been interacting with various investors, so everybody wants more and more incentives, and it kind of becomes a competition as to who's going to give us more. I think it's, of course, from a company's perspective, they would want to maximize their benefits, but I think all of us, all these states put together need to work in a manner where we grab a larger pie of the cake that is available globally. And I think there are enough opportunities and potential for that. With whatever is happening in China and Taiwan, I think we can leverage our strengths and get more and more investments into the country, and thereby each of the states are going to have a bigger pie. That is something which we should be working on. Just to talk about the incentives policy, I'm not going to be getting into details of the policy that's available on the website, but for a state which is 3% of the country's population, we account for 11% of India's water resources. So water availability is not a problem. It's something which is very important for semiconductors and data centers, etc. On the power front, again, we are a power surplus state. We supply power to the national grids. And the power tariff in Odisha is the cheapest in the country. Our industrial power tariff is about 7 rupees. And for companies which are coming, we give a subsidy of 2 rupees for a period of 10 years. So you cannot get power cheaper anywhere in the country other than Odisha. We also work on a system of working out customized packages for mega investments. And for semiconductor, mega is anything which is above 500 crores. So we are in touch with several companies, and we're looking at more and more investments coming in. Where do we want to go? For a state our size, for our ambition, we would like to be a hub of R&D, of design, and of innovation and skilling. Skilling is again an extremely important part of our ecosystem. We are the only state in the country which created a skills development authority, which was chaired by a person of the rank of a cabinet minister. So that tells you the importance that we assign to skills development. And if we talk about numbers, we have more than 100,000 graduates, and more than about 40,000 people coming out from ITIs and polytechnics. And by the way, in the last competition, national competition which was held, the top 3 ITIs in the country, there were 3 out of Odisha. We also have set up a very unique project in association with ITE, Education Services of Singapore. It's called the World Skills Center, and it focuses on skilling people on new age advanced technologies. And the graduates, the people coming out of World Skills Center command a premium when it comes to getting jobs. So that is a very, very important area for us. In addition to that, we would like to be a hub for compound semiconductor industries. We are also setting up a major semiconductor park spread over 200 acres. We've had some international developers who've expressed a keen interest in setting that up. It will be set up on a PPP mode, and that will be one of our major projects moving forward. We have a very ambitious program which we are launching in a couple of months. It's called the OCHIP program. And that program, the objective is to create an end-to-end semiconductor design ecosystem. It aims at boosting employment, skilling, and entrepreneurship in the state. And how is it different? It's going to provide 360-degree support, from infrastructure to financing to marketing, mentorship, and skilling. It's going to cover the entire gamut of all the activities for semiconductor ecosystem. And the objective, of course, is to create a skilled workforce which works not only in Odisha but throughout the world. We have a target of coming out with 2 chip tape-outs every year, and of course, produce indigenous IPs. So this was in brief about Odisha. As I said, we are different. We do things differently. You would, just as an aside, for a state which gets ravaged by disasters every year, cyclones, floods, and there was a super cyclone way back in 1999, where we lost about 10,000 lives. From there on to today, where we have a mission of 0 casualties, 0 life loss, and we are considered the leaders in disaster management, not just in the country, but across the world. So it's been a long journey, and we look forward to any more comments and inquiries that you may have. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, sir. May I now call upon the government of Uttar Pradesh.
Esteemed colleagues on the dais, officer colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. You know what excites me so much? What excites me so much is that India is growing as a whole. We are the fastest growing large economy in the world. And the fruits of this development is not cornered by one particular state, it's distributed everywhere. It's heartening, to actually look at and understand what good works are being done across the country, so that we can replicate them as well in our state. I've been working in Uttar Pradesh for the last 25 years. When I joined service 25 years back, we used to jokingly call our state as Ulta Pradesh. So from that, we started calling us Uttam Pradesh some time back. And then our chief minister gave us this mantra of UP being the land of unlimited potential. So that's what we are now. Uttar Pradesh is, how did we come to this? So the infrastructure in the state was not very good in terms of roads, in terms of electricity, in terms of drinking water, in terms of other major infrastructure about, let's say, 15 years back. The government of India as well as the government of Uttar Pradesh gave it a big fillip by doing a lot of capital expenditure across the state. Our budget size, which was about 200,000 crores in 2014 has now increased to about 700,000 crores in 2024, which is a rise of 3.5 times in 10 years. So this has actually helped us in developing a robust infrastructure across the state. In fact, you will be surprised to know that more than 50% of India's expressways lie in Uttar Pradesh as of now. Uttar Pradesh is now crisscrossed by, we call one express Purvanchal, there is one Ganga expressway coming up very shortly. It's being built right now, and we plan to build it before the Kumbh, which is going to happen in January 2025. The Government of India also pitched in. The Government of India actually made the largest road network in the state, in any state of India. It also made the largest railway network in any state of India. Uttar Pradesh now has about 16,000 kilometers of railway lines crisscrossing the entire state. We needed this. We needed this because we are a state of about 25 crore people. 25 crore is a lot of population, and we need to move things fast if we want to cater to needs of all this population. Our logistics study was done some time back, in which we tried to gauge where the pain points are, where you know, if there is a package of Amazon which is due to come from Bombay to Lucknow, where is it getting stuck? Why is it taking more than 2 days for it to come from Bombay to Lucknow? So we identified those points as well, tried to sort out all logistics problems. The Government of India, in its ease of doing business rankings, ranked Uttar Pradesh as an achiever state in its last ease of doing business rankings. It also ranked Uttar Pradesh as number 2 in its leads ranking. Leads ranking is logistics ease across different sectors. Logistics ease across different states, sorry. So we have come a long way from what we were to what we are now, but still a lot needs to be done. So that's as far as policies are concerned, as far as specifically as far as electronics policy is concerned, as far as semiconductor policy is concerned, we try to make our policies at par with different states. Some of you must be knowing that in February 2023, we conducted our Global Investor Summit, in which we reached out to different countries as well as across the nation. We reached out to different companies investing across different sectors. We not only wanted to bring in core agricultural companies, but we also wanted to give manufacturing a fillip. UP has been known for manufacturing. There are a lot of good manufacturing units which were established in Uttar Pradesh long time back. Some of them are still functioning as of now. Some automobile companies, car companies, there are some petrochemical companies which had their manufacturing bases in Uttar Pradesh, but we wanted to give it a fillip. So we did our Global Investor Summit some time back in 2023. We reached out to 17 countries as well as all major companies across India. It generated a lot of traction. We were able to garner investment proposals of about 40 lakh crores, which is about $500 billion. I'm really happy to tell you that out of those $500 billion of projects, almost 25% of them have started on ground. I mean, people have started constructing their factories, and about projects worth about 1 lakh crores are already have already started manufacturing. As far as our semiconductor plants are concerned, we wanted to have the advantage of being close to Delhi, because that is one advantage we can't let go of. Noida has been developing as a 5-star city since the last 50 years. And Noida has actually come a long way since the time it was being started to getting developed in late 1980s. It has taken us almost 50 years to build the city. So Noida got built, then we started building Greater Noida, and then there's one more authority which is coming up, which is called the Yamuna Expressway Industrial Development Authority. In fact, the expressway which you see now between Noida and Agra, it was the first PPP expressway which was executed in India. So we have a lot of experience in executing large projects, the government of Uttar Pradesh. This project of Jewar Airport, which you all must have heard of, it is being executed by Zurich International Airport, and it was being planned for a long, long time, but actual manufacturing started about 4 years back. And we are very confident that our first flight will land in Noida in December 2024. So it's in about 3 months' time, you'll have an international airport very close to this place. Being close to an international airport has its advantages, and being close to Delhi has its advantages. So since you are all here in Noida, must be going around this place a lot. Noida was always known as a place where software companies are located. In fact, when I passed out from IIT Kanpur 25 years back, I wanted to either work in Noida or I wanted to work in Bangalore. I mean, these were the two places I was looking at if I didn't want to go to the US. Okay. In US was the first preference, and if I was in India, then I was in either Bangalore or in Noida. Unfortunately, there are places which have overtaken Noida now, but we want to get Noida to its pedestal position, which it was back then. Our first semiconductor park is being planned very close to where you're sitting right now. It's about, let's say, about 30 kilometers from here, very close to the international airport in Jewar, about 2.5 kilometers from the international airport in Jewar. It's being planned over an area of 1,000 acres. Many companies have shown their interest in it. There are intents which we have received from India Semiconductor Commission as well. We hope to generate more traction. Yesterday, our Honorable Chief Minister met with CEOs of some large multinational companies, and they have their plans to either expand their businesses in India or to set up new greenfield businesses in Uttar Pradesh. So just to give you an idea that UP has come a long way. Our bureaucracy now is very investor focused right now. We have developed our systems in such a way that we can actually handhold every intent of investment which comes into Uttar Pradesh and lead it all along the way to the point the company actually, puts up its first brick, so to say. We want to handhold the investors so that their journey completes very fast. In fact, I'll just let you know that Samsung, when it's announced its intent to manufacture its unit and to start its manufacturing unit in Noida, it took just 11 months. It took us about 2 months to give it all its clearances which were required, and then it took Samsung 11 more months to start its manufacturing unit in Noida. It's the largest manufacturing unit of Samsung in India. Noida currently manufactures about 65% of all India's mobile phones that you see in the country. It has emerged as a large electronics destination, and we want to take it forward by making it a good semiconductor destination as well. I am hopeful that with Government of India's participation, as well as your participation, we can turn UP around and make it into a good investor-friendly destination. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for hearing me out. I'll be happy to take any questions after this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Sanjeev, Government of Karnataka?
Very good afternoon, all of you. Thank you for giving Karnataka State an opportunity to share what we think in the e-future part of the electronics and where Karnataka stands and what is Karnataka is trying to drive upon. If I just move on to the next slide, we're talking about of a future of the, yeah. If you see the way India has been growing very fast, we are the third largest, looking at from the perspective of what the global GDP says by 2030. And the way India is progressing and positioning into the global market, I think they're looking at us to be somewhere closer by 2047, be the one of two global economies of the world. Look at the per capita income which has been increasing, the trajectory which has been showing for a $5 trillion USD, and the per capita income is going up. So what I'm trying to say is that India's GDP, the per capita income, is trying to bring out consumer market more and more in the economy. And if you look at currently, when we look at the overall, how much is going to increase, 1.4x time, the current level is going to be the consumption of the domestic products. This consumption is going to be a big market for all the manufacturers. And as you all know that electronics is part of every single sector, be it automobile, aerospace, defense, agriculture, healthcare, pharmaceutical, all of them are. And if that's the case, then you see that electronics becomes a very important player in this consumption market, which is where India stands for. Karnataka's presence in electronics value chain. If you look at us, we are design, testing, and prototyping. We are the leader there. And Karnataka ranks second in the state of India's electronic products. So if you pick up the design talent of the world, I hope you know that Bangalore and Karnataka holds the second largest position of the design engineers. We have 100,000 PhD passed outs from the institutions, which caters to the large amount of VLSI design programs across. And you pick up any global company name on the designs, they have their offices, R&D centers based out of Bangalore. When you see us, the GDP of where we are today, and India's, the Karnataka's, which becomes the jewel on India's economic crown, it is so because we are looking at ourselves as Karnataka, the state GDP, which is going to be $1 trillion economy. We're looking at somewhere around 40% plus coming from digital economy. And 40% of $1 trillion is 400 billion plus economy, digital economy, which includes larger chunk of the R&D, larger chunk of electronics, design, manufacturing, and startups. We are the third largest in attracting FDIs in India. Bangalore to put India on the top map of 100 technology clusters in the world. We have the presence of, you pick up Fortune 500 companies of the world, 400 of them have their research and development center or presence in Bangalore, in Karnataka. You pick up the, these fabulous startups. The largest chunk of fabulous startups comes from Bangalore. The center of excellence on the part is also, and I covered the slide, my next slide. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Government of Karnataka, I want to share that these are the rankings which has been given to us. Be the first in semiconductor design ecosystem, be the first in R&D centers, be the number in machine tools manufacturing, in biotech productions, in electronics designs, innovation index. We have been ranked innovation index for the last 3 to 4 years by Government of India consecutively. So we are called as numero, in the sense of any number that you pick it up from an index perspective. We have all the key ingredients that can be readily leveraged to build the ecosystem here. and especially for the semiconductor and design. Enabling infrastructure, conducive policies, a skilled workforce, existing value chain of the ecosystem which is available there in demand and supply. Now, when you say semiconductor, you have a design. You know that the EMS companies which is required for using those semiconductor parts are there, largest chunk is there in Karnataka. The OEMs which are manufacturing the product for various sectors of the economy from electronics are there in Karnataka. The PCB manufacturing boards are there in Karnataka. You find everything else available. And that's the beauty of the ecosystem which is available in the state of Karnataka, which provides the semiconductor part of it. Now, if you look at the well-established infrastructure network I want to focus upon, there are the entire piece of the connectivity which has been looked into from the national highways and the way the state of Karnataka has been designed by these industrial corridors in the airports and the rail networks for the logistics and supply chain. It has been graded as one of the best ecosystems from the logistics and supply chain, because of the networks that have been established across 2 international airports, 6 ICDs, and etc., which is very critical for the semiconductor, especially because turnaround time is very, very critical. And I'm learning this curve while I'm interacting with the industry more closely, these terminologies. 4 we have got, thanks to Government of India, we have got 4 EMC clusters approved in the state. One is in Mysore, Tumkur, Kotubelu area in Biblihargad, and as well as in Mysore. So we have got those 4 industrial areas. These industrial areas are well equipped for the clusters. We have approximately 200 or 230, 45 acres of land per cluster. So you can say that around 1,000 acres of land has been dedicated for this. And I'm very happy to share that most of the companies as anchor units have set up their operations in Mysore, in Hubli-Belgaum region, and other industries are putting up the in this region as well. All of them have the critical part is connectivity, logistics, supply chain, ecosystem, and more important is the talent. And that's what the trump card is for the state of Karnataka when you look at the talent part. If you see covering the entire value chain for us, we do have 2 very special policies that we cover from the state. One is the ESDM policy. I just want to use a word, number 1, that will be used in the slide, but also so say that Karnataka state has always been number 1 in the policy framework as well. The first IIT policy by any state came out from Karnataka. The first startup policy came out from Karnataka. The first R&D policy came out from Karnataka. And the ESDM, which includes semiconductor, was already put in place almost 5 years back. I think that's a way that we have been looking ourselves for determining the policies which can be come across. We are now coming out with the second version of the policies. Now, that's where our standards. And all these policies are drafted in a very huge consultation with an industry. So industry sits on the vision groups for us, give us advices, suggestions, and then we design those policies which have been put together for the ecosystem to develop. The special benefit schemes, which has been come out by the Karnataka state, is also for larger projects. So, ladies and gentlemen, if the policies gives us a directional approach, is that what you see there. But if there are special projects, we can go beyond the policy. And we can have a case-to-case based studies, discussions, and finalize the things that is required by the individual companies, and etc. And that's how the state of Karnataka has been progressing very well. Being the talent hub, I just wanted to give you the statistics from the perspective of skill mapping. We have approximately 235 engineering colleges, 110,000 engineering graduates pass outs from the state of Karnataka. And all of those talented skills, the VLSI programs that we run across the states is creating those design engineers across. These universities, the ITIs, the industrial training programs, makes us the trump card of being the Euro number 1 in terms of the positioning the state of Karnataka. Another very significant part that we do is setting up the center of excellence. Pick up the field of anything from an AI, from an IoT, from a fabless, anything that you pick up, aerospace and defense, we have a center of excellence set up. And what a center of excellence does? The center of excellence, first of all, brings the industry knowledge in the very great academic institution. Second piece, what it does is inspires the entrepreneurs to leverage that knowledge to create out innovation. And the third and most important part that we do is skill programs for these specific centers of excellence, which is required by the industry on emerging technologies. No other state is not about making a statement, just saying that the ambit of the canvas of the digital economy is being covered here from the center of excellence. And that's not sufficient. We're looking at creating more center of excellence on upcoming technologies like, let's say, gaming, like, say, fintech. So we are not leaving any segment which is important for the economy and not done. And these all are where we invest money along with an industry and set up these center of excellences. To be very frank, the talent, the center of excellence, and the ecosystem are the three important pillars of success of government of the state of Karnataka when the industry looks into this. The semiconductor value chain, as I was talking about, the brands and etc., all are there. The only request to the ISM is, as Jay sir was talking about earlier, is to look at us and look at the project which are keenly looking at Karnataka. They should consider them in a more fruitful manner and a more positive manner. That's what I would request to the ISM to consider when the states comes up, because industry and the states works together a lot to convince and get a situation done. This is one. And I think it will be great if ISM can start looking at it a little bit more positively towards those proposals. We do have some of the great semiconductor companies like Applied Materials, Lam Research, TI. You know the TI company, in 1985, they set up their operations in India, in Bangalore. Next year, they're going to celebrate 40 years of semiconductor presence in India. And we are very proud to say that 4 decades of this journey has attracted 400 more companies of this kind to come to Karnataka. And that's the beauty of what we talk about of this. Yes, we do have some of the great houses of designs and etc. and cadence. For example, let's say tools, manufacturing. We are getting a lot of proposals from the fab side. We are getting a lot of proposals from OSAT side. But not only this, we are looking at the entire value chain as well. So we're trying to put together a PCB cluster manufacturing, which includes the value chain of PCB side. Today evening, there's another session lined up between 5 to 6 p.m. around table. If anyone wants to join the session, please join. This is focusing on how we are positioning a little bit more beautifully on the PCB side and creating that larger chunk of this. India's largest PCB board manufacturer is in Karnataka. So all this part is where we see a bank. What I was trying to convey the message is that we have a lot of policies. You can put off this slide, please. Thank you so much for your help. Ladies and gentlemen, I just take one more minute. Our focus is on an evenly growth story, and our Beyond Bangalore is an initiative where these 4 clusters that we're talking about are prominently done. Today, we have this fantastic ecosystem in Mysore, which is primarily on the electronics and semiconductor. The AI engines and a lot of products have been developed in Hubli-Belgaum region. The MedTech is coming up there in this region as well. So I think the story of Karnataka is that today when we are around 30-35% of state GDP, can we become 45% of state GDP coming from this? With your support and with the government of India's and in partnership with various other state governments, like a talent and learning from each other, we will be able to this. There's a very separate mission which is set up called Karnataka Digital Economy Mission, which is the mission, which is a separate organization. It's a Section 8 company, which is primarily objective is to promote the digital economy, solve the problems of the industry which is required, could be a policy, could be ease of doing business, and attract the investments which is required for the state. And very, very proud that on this front, we are leading, giving examples for others to also look at us and learn from others and grow together. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Rajiv. May I now call upon the government of Assam, and we are, I think, running a little away from the stipulated time, but I think we should catch up.
A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, respected dignitaries on the dais. I'll focus on some slides. It's a large presentation. So we know earlier we used to think about Assam is on the periphery of India, but now with the renewed focus on Act East policy, it is in the center of a big economy where 2.1 billion people's market is available. There are large number of consumers available. And why Assam? We have lots of possibilities. We are growing at around 15.6% growth rate. We are in the center of ASEAN and BBN markets. You can see this picture. Many countries' capital are nearby to Guwahati than many cities of our own country. So this is going to be the fastest growing market in coming future. With the connectivity, renewed focus on connectivity, we have 7 operational airports, long network of roads and railways, and multimodal logistic park, first of its kind in Assam, is developed here in Jogigopa place. And we have longest network of rivers, national waterways, which is under development. Assam's investment in human capital, you can see we have some very premier institutions like IIT and IIIT in Assam, and Northeast Institute of Science and Technology, and then a new IIM also is being proposed in Assam. And we are developing a skill university, one of its kind, with the support of Singapore. And it is going to support the new requirement of the upcoming industries in this region. Big network of industrial land and area, which is available across the Assam. The plethora of policy support which we are offering to many industries, be it food processing, be it electronics, be it handicraft, be it tourism. So our focus is on to support extensively to the industries, apart from whatever support is given from Government of India. So this is the policy, IIPA, Industrial and Investment Policy of Assam 2024, where we are offering a huge set of incentives, starting from SGST reimbursement, power subsidy, stamp duty, exemptions, financial assistance at the cost of 50%, subject to a ceiling of 25 lakhs, support for human capital development and engagement, many other plethora of subsidy to all the industries who are coming to this part of the country. And there is a definition of mega investment. We have reduced this from 1,000 crores to 100 crores. So any industry coming and investing 100 crores of rupees and 200 employment, we are offering customized incentive to them. And apart from this state policy, this Unnati scheme of Government of India is also supporting industries in northeastern of India. So this is on top of what we are offering. We are actually focusing on semiconductor industry. So you must all be knowing that Tata is coming up with one of the biggest, I think it is the largest OSAT in the world in Assam, and it is based on indigenous technology. So we have offered them incentives under this electronic policy of Assam. We are offering 40% of what Government of India is offering, and land is at very concessional rates, and other many incentives like power subsidy, and then payroll assistance, and then tax incentives. So we are able to attract huge investment through this policy incentives, and we are also in the achiever category in ease of doing business. So we have single window system. Most of the permissions are given immediately. Then we have actually invested a lot on bringing this Tata OSAT in Assam. There was a dysfunctional facility of Paper Corporation Limited of Hindustan, which was under Ministry of Heavy Industry, which was actually under liquidation. We have invested around 800 crores to buy that facility back, and we have developed it as a semiconductor park, and the 600-acre land is readily available there, out of which we have given Tata around 175 acres. So this region will be developed into a semiconductor ecosystem. The Tata journey you can see, starting from site inspection in 2023 to actually getting into this MOU, it was a quick journey of around 6 to 8 months, and we had offered the best in the class incentive, and now it is housing one of the biggest OSAT factory in world. These are the negotiations you can see. So, and the 13th March was the historic day for Assam when we actually got foundation stone led by Honorable PM of Assam. And on last 3rd August, the construction of the factory actually started in the Assam. Hopefully, with this first of this kind of initiative, I think we will be able to develop whole semiconductor ecosystem in our state. And most of us understand that this ecosystem is dependent on multi-countries partnership, fostering collaboration across the world. So in a kind, this is boon to Assam also because we are not very resource-rich state. We are not having very developed manufacturing base. So whatever we will be doing, actually, as India is actually starting its journey in semiconductor arena, we are also at the same time, we are also starting in the same fashion. So things will be coming and going from here after processing. So in a kind, it's a standalone facility, but definitely it will develop its own ecosystem nearby. So hopefully we are in line of developing that kind of ecosystem, which will be supporting around 500 odd industries in this region. And with the requirement of huge workforce of around 12,500 people, especially women, we are also focusing on the skilling of women. And our skill university is actually reserving 40% seats for women for this sector. So the best part of everything is that we have decisive leadership and we have red carpet welcome for all the industries who are coming to Assam. And in last two to 3 years, we have got around 10,000 crores of investment in many new sectors, starting from PepsiCo to many other industries who are actually coming and investing in Assam. Thank you. I welcome you all to Assam and participate in our journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Government of Gujarat, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Manish Gorwani. I am Mission Director for Gujarat State Electronics Mission. So I have the privilege of heading this unique body, State Electronics Mission. When I say it is a unique body, it is unique in the sense that it does policy promotion for Gujarat government when it relates to electronics and semiconductors. It is the investor facilitation body, and it is the single nodal agency for all kinds of statutory clearances and approvals. So in government of Gujarat, you will have to deal with only one team, and that is the team of Gujarat State Electronics Mission. Further, this is the same team which does the disbursement of subsidies as well. So right from earlier stages of identification of land to discussing the incentive package with the anchor investor, till the construction work is started, all the approvals are taken. GSEM works as a single window agency for the investors pertaining to semiconductor and electronics industry. So I've got exactly 4 slides and I'm going to narrate a story to you. The name of the story is Gujarat's Semiconductor Story. This is just a basic slide about Gujarat as to why it is known as possibly the best state, one of the best states definitely in the country. It contributes 8.2% of India's GDP. We aspire to take it to 10%. It has longest coastline of 1600 kilometers, 48 seaports. Delhi-Mumbai industrial corridor, around 40% of it passes through the state of Gujarat. 19 airports, including 4 international ones. One coming at the Dholera itself, only 15 kilometers away from the Dholera activation area. Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed railway, first statewide extensive piped natural gas grid, taking care of the remotest corner of the state. The total power capacity is 53 gigawatt. It is a power surplus state. 48% of it is green power. It also has a well-established, catering to remotest region of the state, statewide water network. As far as the industrial estates are concerned, there are 2 kinds of estates when it comes to semiconductor and electronics. Gujarat Industrial Development Corporation has around 200 industrial estates all across the state of Gujarat, and we are also building India's first platinum-rated green industrial city in Dholera. As far as the policy provisions are concerned, there are 2 kinds of policy which we deal with. One is semiconductor policy, the other is the electronics policy. Semiconductor policy categorically deals with semiconductor fabrication plants, OSATs, ATMPs, etc. While for the components and the electronic equipments, etc., the electronic policy takes care of them. some salient features of the policies are, in the semiconductor policy, we offer 40% additional support of Government of India, power tariff subsidy of 2 rupees for a period of 10 years, water availability at rupees 12 per cubic meter for 5 years, land subsidy 75% for first 200 acres of land at Dholera. In the electronics policy, it is also a judicious mix of capital and operational expenditure, catering to 20% capex support, stamp duty exemption, interest assistance, some incentive on logistics as well. So overall, if you see these two policies, these are judicious mixes of some capex and some opex in 3-4 different heads. The point which I want to highlight more is the rightmost corner, bottom, speedy project approval. So in case of Micron, our approval is completely dependent on Government of India's approval. In the case of Micron, the ISM approval which we received was on 15th June 2023. We approved Micron Technologies ETMP project worth $2.75 billion the very next day. So it takes less than 24 hours for a project worth $2.75 billion. There's no additional scrutiny. We completely rely on ISM scrutiny, and consequently our projects are approved accordingly. In case of Tata NCG also, once we received the approval from ISM, you can see on 7th March and 8th March respectively. On 13th March, the approval letter was handed over in a grant ceremony, MOU was done, project approval was granted, and groundbreaking ceremony virtually in the presence of Honorable Prime Minister was held. This is the speed at which Government of Gujarat functions. This is a slide depicting some salient features about Dholera, Semicon city, which we are building. Total area is 920 km square. Dholera airport, which I just discussed, it is just 15 kilometers away. The last point is Ahmedabad-Dholera Expressway, which is likely to be completed by November end. It will connect Ahmedabad to Dholera, and it will take less than an hour, possibly 45-50 minutes in reaching Dholera. We have also provisioned for redundancy in power. Redundancy has been obtained from ISTS, the national grid. 220 kV and 33 kV substations are well functioning in Dholera. We have provision for 100 MLD capacity of water. Right now, there is one fab being built up by Tata in Dholera, which will require around 20 MLDs of water. So we can sufficiently cater to 5 fabs at least. And if we are ready to augment the water capacity as and when the need arises. CETP 20 MLD has already been constructed. The augmentation is going on. STP facilities, 10 MLD is already there. Some augmentation is going on. Formally, total 5 projects have been approved by ISM so far. 4 of them have landed in Gujarat. Micron Technology, $2.75 billion. Tata Electronics in collaboration with PSMC Taiwan and Dholera. CG Power, Keynes, RN GIDC, Sanand. So overall, $15 billion of investment has come in Gujarat, has landed up in Gujarat because of semiconductor policy and the consistent support and guidance from ISM and Government of India. Now we are engaging with a lot more semiconductor players and ecosystem partners to build the entire ecosystem of semiconductor and electronics in the state of Gujarat. We are promoting associated industries such as chemical, gases, automation for holistic development of the ecosystem. We are consistently improving our infrastructure, though it is one of the best in the country. We are open to feedbacks and suggestions, and we want to completely support the existing semiconductor ecosystem. We are also focusing on human resource development, semiconductor and electronic sector. They require some specialized kind of training. The state has a very rich culture of industry academia collaboration, Micron and PDU agreement being a case in example. So that's all. Just to give you an example of how fiscally sound and how policy-wise stable we are. As CEO ISM sir was mentioning, we had signed a tripartite agreement with ISM, Government of Gujarat and Micron for payment of their subsidies. So till now we have, I think, 4 or 5 installments have been given to Micron. The timeline set for us was 7 days. 7 days after approval from ISM, we are bound to deliver subsidies in the Micron's bank account. On the 5 occasions, we have never delayed by a single day. That is how we function. That's all. We are deeply humbled by the 4 projects coming in Gujarat. We look forward to many more projects. We look forward to your suggestions on our policy, on our infrastructure, our human resources. We keep our ears open and feet grounded. Though I am a career civil servant, formally recruited by Government of India and formally deputed to Government of Gujarat. So to investors out here, I'll be happy if you come to India. I'll be happier if you come to Gujarat. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you very much. Last but not the least, Government of Tamil Nadu.
Respected seniors and my dear colleagues, good afternoon. Here is a small presentation from the state of Tamil Nadu. Myself, Dr. Alarmail Mangai. I belong to 2019 batch IAS and I am the Executive Director of Guidance, which is the pioneer investment promotion agency of Government of Tamil Nadu. Guidance was established in 1992, the most important year after liberalization. Tamil Nadu has been a visionary in setting up such a pioneer institution way back in 1992 itself. Here is my presentation. So this is a brief about Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is the second largest economy in the country with about $300 billion. We have a diverse economy with manufacturing services contributing more or less equal to the economy. This shows our strength in every three sectors, and it is 48% urbanized state with the largest urbanization happening in the country. Next is our sustainable development. We are the first in attaining the SDG goals in the country among the large industrialized state. And we focus on equitable and inclusive growth. The development is not concentrated only in and around Chennai, but we focus on all the regions across Tamil Nadu. When it comes to social capital, we have about 48% of gross enrollment ratio compared to the national average of 28%. Tamil Nadu, an economic powerhouse. As we all know, Tamil Nadu is leader in electronic export. Our electronic export grow about $10 billion in 2024, which is 2x times next to our near peer state. And our electronic exports was about $1.6 billion in the financial year 2022, and it has grown to $10 billion in 2024, which is 6x times growth. This has been massive, and we are the leaders in electronic export as on date in India. And when it comes to leading auto and auto component exports, we are contributing about 46% to the country's auto and auto component exports, and we are top leaders in textile and apparel industry. When it comes to service sector, we are second highest in service sector, and we are having the third largest ecosystem for startup in the country. For global capability centers, we have about 10% of the global capability centers in India. To add to the electronic exports of the country, Javel has recently announced its 5,000 employment unit in Trichy, which is putting another city in the EMS capital of India. With the Javel announcement, 9 out of 10 EMS players are in Tamil Nadu, and we are proud about it. When it comes to semiconductor value chain, we have across from materials, equipment testing, design, ATMP, OSAT to startups. These companies have been largely present in Tamil Nadu from across the years, and we are providing an enabling ecosystem for the players to build upon their strengths and to advance and to making more design and fabless models. These are the electronic clusters in Tamil Nadu. As I have earlier mentioned, we are not focused only on Chennai. We have other 4 regions. It is the Hosur cluster, it is the Tirunelveli cluster deep down in the south. And with the Javel announcement, Trichy is also now the new emerging electronic cluster in Tamil Nadu. And we not only focus on mobile and communication equipment, we all know that out of the 4 iPhone cluster manufacturers, 3 are in Tamil Nadu. We don't stop with that. We also have others like computer and peripheral equipment, industrial electronics, auto electronics, consumer electronics. This is the recent Tamil Nadu Semiconductor and Advanced Electronic Policy, which we announced in February. We focus on 3 verticals, that is semiconductor, advanced electronic manufacturing, high-end chip design, and fabless entities. For semiconductor, we give capital subsidy of 50% what the government of India is giving to the projects approved under ISM. To advanced electronic and manufacturing, we give us both a mixture of capital subsidy and turnover-based subsidy. And for the high-end chip design and fabless entities, there is a no cap on the capital, but we give up by a payroll subsidy. There are other bucket of subsidies which we give to the semiconductor industry. For example, it is a concession on stamp duty, interest subvention, exemption from electricity duty, and all others. So what I would like to tell is the strength of Tamil Nadu lies in its large industrial ecosystem that is present and nurtured from the year of 1992, and is a strong skilling workforce which is available in Tamil Nadu, which is a plus and boon to the industry. And third is the policy continuity. We have a government regime changing every 5 years in the state government of Tamil Nadu. Despite that the promises given by the previous regime is kept by the subsequent governments, this has earned the investors' confidence. So we would like to build a semiconductor ecosystem across the value chains, and our policy is enabling it. Thank you.
Right, man. Thank you very much. I think most of the canvas during the presentations in the last 7 states has been covered. However, there are a couple of things. I mean, beyond Bengaluru has been covered by Sanjeev from KDEM. Enabling policies has been covered by Tamil Nadu. OCHIPS has been covered by Odisha, which I wanted to, let the audience know. But there are 3 major questions. Oh, yes, Dholera has been covered amply by Mr. Gurwani, very clearly as to how Dholera is and where it is going to be going from there. Assam, a lot of skilling issues, including the skilling of women, which has been brought to forth, has been covered very clearly. So let me just segue, since we still have time, to Mr. Jayesh Ranjan. Sir, there is this outstanding program in Telangana called TASK. Could you just tell the audience as to what TASK is? Ladies and gentlemen, please listen. This is one of the most important things in Telangana.
Sure, Colonel Avasti. So TASK is a government institution. It stands for Telangana Academy of Skills and Knowledge. So when I was speaking, I mentioned that we upgrade our syllabus as quickly as we can. But there are still certain skills which possibly are not covered in the syllabus, and the companies are using it. So what TASK does is that it checks with the employers, potential companies, on what skill sets are they looking at. And if those skill sets are missing in the college curriculum, or if those skill sets not easily available in the open market, then what TASK does is to create a special module for that particular skills and implement training program. So let us say if an electronics company tells us that I need to recruit 100 people who must know a particular way of, let us say, 3D printing. And suppose that is something which is not typically known to students or in the open market, then TASK will find out which company has actually created that solution, discuss with them to develop a module. And if the company has told that I require 100 people, we will train 500 people, and the company can select the best 100 out of them. And it is completely done at our cost. The company need not pay even 1 rupee for it. And for some reason, let us say I trained 500. The company feels that none of them are matching their standards. There is no compulsion that you have to take from them. Just because I have spent time, I have spent effort, I have spent money. You can reject all 500, and then I'll train a fresh batch. So this is something which companies appreciate quite a lot, that right on day 1, when they are ready to start their commercial production, they get skilled manpower, which can be deployed on a live production line. You don't need to train them even for 1 hour.
Excellent, excellent, sir. All of you, may I implore you, kindly look onto the website of TASK. Just see this model Telangana has adopted. In case you are in a different state, you may like to look at it. It's one of the most outstanding models of skilling which is available today in the country. Let me go on to the Principal Secretary in Odisha. Sir, there is this great saying that we keep hearing, at least in Delhi. Delhi has got a lot of buzz. They say that, in Odisha, people work in a very corporate and a very different manner. What is that, sir?
Thanks, Anurag. So I mentioned that we work differently. So let me, come from 2 perspectives. One is from an investor's perspective. You, of course, would like to maximize, what you get from the state when we talk of incentives. And also, when we sat down to frame our incentive policy, our mandate was to benchmark it to the best in the country. And we were told that under each of the components of the incentive policy, we need to be better. And today, I can very confidently say with a lot of pride that our incentives are the best. Across all states, you can do a comparison. We've got it done by a professional company, so we're very confident about that. One important aspect is, normally when incentives are offered, particularly on CAPEX, there is always a ceiling attached. So the policy says 30% with a cap of 50 crores or 100 crores. In our case, we do not have a cap. So if you're investing 100 crores and our policy says 30%, you're going to get 300 crores back. How is it possible? Again, Odisha has the highest revenue surplus amongst all the states in the country. We started the current financial year with a revenue surplus of 37,000 crores. And as the former finance secretary of the state, I can say with confidence that if we make a commitment, we make sure that we honor that commitment. We do not make commitment in air. So if you promise something, rest assured that it will be done. From an investor's perspective, you know, where would you want to be? You would want to be in a place where life is easy, quality of life is good, commute times, you know, are not crazy. We were ranked as the third happiest state in the country some time back, and among the Bhubaneswar, our state capital, where we are asking investors to come in, figured in the top 3 most pleasant and livable cities of the country. So these two are there for you. Why we are different? So as he said, we work more like a corporate. We're very informal, and you know, a couple of things which tell you about the way a state thinks. So something very small like, you know, a city providing drink from tap, which is the first city in the country which provides drink from tap? Puri in India. And the second one would be our state capital, Bhubaneswar. No other state has even thought of it. The first state in the country to sponsor a national sports team, that is again Odisha. We sponsor the national hockey teams, Indian men, women, junior, senior, and wherever they play, barring competitions like Olympics and all, they carry that Odisha, India's best kept secret, the tagline that we have on the jerseys. So again, something very different. If you type sports capital of India on Google, you will be surprised to you know, see whatever you see. So different. We wanted international connectivity. We were having problems. We are connected to Bangkok and Kuala Lumpur once upon a time. We wanted connectivity to Dubai and to Singapore as well. It wasn't happening, so what did we do? We just decided that we were going to fund the, you know, provide viability gap fund for these operations, and we got it done. We wanted to set up triple IT in Bhubaneswar long time back. Today we boast of IIM and IIT. It wasn't happening, so we went ahead and did it from our own side. A government which works very and thank you, sir, for coming here and encouraging us. So, you know, that is why the state is different. We work differently. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. So I will now segue to the Principal Secretary, Government of Uttar Pradesh and LA, what I was told early in the morning and actually asked by somebody at, sir, are you aware that there is going to be a semiconductor park in Noida or Greater Noida? So I told them, I said, the Principal Secretary is going to be here in the evening, hear it from him. Sir?
So as I said earlier, I mean, this semiconductor park is about to come up in a vicinity of about 2.5 kilometers from the Jeva International Airport. It's a 1,000-acre park, semiconductor park, which is very closely located to, there's an already existing electronics manufacturing cluster 2.0 in the Yamuna Expressway Authority, so it's very close to that. And apart from that, there are some more parks which are also coming up in the vicinity. One is the Japanese park, there's the Korean park, then there's the logistics parks and the warehousing park, and there is one ESTM cluster as well. Apart from, there's one medical devices park which was announced by the Government of India some time back. So, I mean, this is a lot of industries which are coming up near Jeva International Airport. We are also in touch with major international airlines who are setting up their major MRO bases near the Jeva International Airport. So this is going to build up like an industrial city somewhere on the lines of Dholera. It is going to be the Jeva International Airport, as I mentioned to you, it's spread over an area of about 6,000 hectares with having about 6 parallel runways. I mean, even Delhi International Airport doesn't have, I think has three runways, out of which 2 crisscross each other. This airport has 6 runways which run parallel to each other. So, I mean, it can handle a lot of passengers. It can handle a lot of cargoes, which is actually interesting companies to set up their base here. So this semiconductor park is spread over 1,000 hectares, very close to the JW National Airport. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sanjeev, any closing remarks? Government of Karnataka, you covered it all. I have nothing to ask you. You finished everything. You covered beyond Bengaluru, the entire Karnataka story. Everybody knows what Karnataka is, the new Silicon Valley, and now they're moving away from. Any closing remarks?
I think, thank you so much for giving a last opportunity as well. Beyond Bangalore, just a small story. When I was walking in the streets of California, state SFO, I saw a street light with the name written on some of cities how many kilometers away from there. Very proud to say one city of India was Bangalore, this 1,000 kilometers away. So it looks very proud, very nice to see that. What we're trying to see is, can we have Mysore and Bangalore also in that frame? And happy to share that this is the one initiative which Government of Karnataka is driving very well. Apart from the policy, we've been completely aligned to give the benefits when you set up those operations there. And there are plenty of them. Having said this, the talent which is also required to be there. So the decision-making process of the industry is two, three folds. One, purely looking at the talent which is required. Land, water, electricity is common. Talent is very, very important element when they take a decision. And we are ensuring that in these ecosystems, the talent is very sharply available. On an average, every of these cities provides somewhere around 20,000 engineering graduates on an average. Each of these three locations which I said about. The second point is how you have developing the startup ecosystem in this region. And just want to let you know, we have coined a new concept which is called as democratization of entrepreneurship. And we defined some 9 pillars on that. And we are actually executing those 9 pillars and seeing a success on that for the last many years. Now we're strengthening those pillars as well. The fruits of this is that today, each of these ecosystems have become a fantastic hub of incubation center, accelerators. VCs have started looking and reaching out to those places and started investing in those companies. On an average, between 500 to 700 startups per each clusters is now being coming up as an emerging startup from those regions. So that's another second parameter on which the decision-making of the corporates take place. Hey, how well I can leverage the startup ecosystem for my own product line. And last but not the least is existing ecosystem. Hai kya wahan? What is that is available there which I can leverage? So if I want to promote a semiconductor, then I want to promote, or electronics, there should be some ecosystem. How many EMS companies are there? How many PCB board manufacturing companies are there? What are the OEMs are doing there? That ecosystem needs to be established. And we are putting that ecosystem because fortunately, you're blessed with some of those locations. Already in the past, some of these exercises were there. Can we sharpen this up? And then, if you can envelop this part as a social infrastructure, your good quality schools, your good residential areas, your entertainment hubs, and etc., and medical healthcare. So today, today we say that Noida or Gurgaon or Delhi or Bangalore or Chennai have the international schools. I'm very happy to share with you that Mysore has an international school, Bangalore has an international school. So that means that we are reaching to a very different curve altogether in this part. I invite all of you to join us in some of these places whenever you're coming down, and also request you to join the Bangalore Tech Summit, which is happening in between 19th and 21st of November. It's Asia's largest tech summit which happens. Roughly around 35 to 40 countries participate with their heads of the states. It's a great event. So look forward to see you there. Experience technology, experience Karnataka, and welcome to our hearts.
Great, great. So thereafter, I move on to the gateway to the ASEAN. I mean, the government has told you very clearly that they are the gateway to the ASEAN. There's no doubt on that. They are doing very, very important work in skilling insofar as that is concerned. Inclusivity with great skilling of women. Either way, any final comments? Precisely 1 minute.
Yeah. Actually, I'll share one discussion when we were in discuss with the Tata OSAT people. So one person who is actually, he's a very senior person in technology in semiconductor. Across the world, he is one of the best talent. So he was telling this when he started the same kind of foundry in Vietnam. he first visited a paddy field where they have actually identified the land, and it happened there. After that, today 1,000 international companies are working there, and it's a very big setup which is there. So we are much better than that kind of circumstances where they started, and we are in better position. We have a huge skilled individual who understand technology and this IT and many other things, and we have a strong backbone in the form of IITs and triple IT. So I think we have better work environment, and at the right point of time, we have picked up with the Honorable PM's vision. We will be able to do the best in semiconductor in coming future. Thank you.
Thanks a ton. Coming on to Mr. Gurwani, one has been associated with the government of Gujarat for a rather longer time, as with the other governments. All I can tell you is there is work which happens there. I was just telling one of the principal secretaries at some lightning speed, God knows why. All right. So anything, Manish, one final comment?
I think
quickly, because my time on target is very close.
Am I audible? It's working. So I think I have covered most of my points in the presentation itself. As I've mentioned, it has been a very fulfilling and very satisfying journey for the state of Gujarat to have these 4 semiconductor projects coming in the state of Gujarat. We look forward to many more such projects, and we look forward to closely working with the industry. Just in case some policy tweaking, some suggestions are there from your side, please feel free in approaching us. Thank you so much, and Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but not the least, the lady, Tamil Nadu, one of this country's best kept secret. I mean, you really have to go to Sri Perumbudur and all these areas to see how the industry is developed over so much of time. The enabling policies, especially by guidance, Tamil Nadu, are also actually noteworthy. Any final points, Pam?
It is the large industrial presence. We have around 45,000 industries that has already been set up in Tamil Nadu, and we have a thriving EV sector, automobile sector. So there is always your customers for semiconductors are already present there for aerospace, for defense. So the entire ecosystem of industries will provide a supply chain network to the industries, and this is a point where the investors can capitalize on. Other is the skilled workforce. The recent NIRF ranking shows that out of the 22 top universities, 22 out of the 100 universities, 22 are in Tamil Nadu, and out of 9 top research institutions are in Tamil Nadu. Highest number of patents registered in India are coming from Tamil Nadu. So this shows the innovative environment that is already present in the state, and this can also be capitalized. Third, as I already mentioned, it is the policy stability which gives investors confidence, and we would like to build upon this. Thank you.
So that is what, ladies and gentlemen, I would call something called competitive federalism. 7 states, each one of them unique, each one of them with a very different policy bouquet, each one of them geographically different, yet working and ticking in unison for the government of India and for this country. All that remains to be said by me is a very large amount of thank you and adulations to all the distinguished gentlemen and the lady on stage. And I will not stand further between you and your evening tea. And that's about it from my side. Thank you for a very patient hearing. Jai Hind.